Thank you. On my way over to the barn to train some horses with my wife, Amy. She's not a morning person. So how can you be a morning person?
I am a morning person. I don't like having my video on.
Oh, you don't like videoing in the morning. I see. We had a number of horses racing yesterday, number today also. But some distressing news from yesterday. No injuries. Usually when I say, oh, I've had some bad news, it's an injury. It's not an injury. I was so impressed with the way Insider Trading qualified yesterday. I had my reservations. Qualified Tuesday, race on Saturday. I did have my reservations, and I always have when it comes to short races like that, especially for young horses. You know, are they going to recover quick enough? Are they, is this going to be a start that's going to bother them or irritate them? Will they get injured? These are all things that bother me when we've done it in the past where we've had to qualify horses, race them 5 days, 4 days, 6 days. But I was happy with the way Insider Trading qualified. In hand, very strong. I wake up this morning and I see a text message. Now, all the tracks have this text messaging system now. It's just a very remedial system where the race secretary will send a generic message out. We're short in all classes. We're looking for maiden trotters. We're looking for open pacers, that type of thing. I see this message come through that says 5-day rule in Pennsylvania for qualifiers for horses racing Saturday. So right away, I'm like, what the hell does that mean? So I text the screenshot of the message to Tim. He calls me back a few minutes later and he says, apparently there's a 5-day rule now. Now, there used to be like a rule where the race secretary in Pennsylvania, in the Meadows in particular, wouldn't take horses inside of 5 days because they had people racing fair horses and then enter them in the maiden, right? And they would have PA preference. I assume that is where it stemmed from. It could have come from a lot of reasons, but at the end of the day, Insider Trading can't race on Saturday. And that in its own right is frustrating. I want it to be our decision. I mean, we did everything we could to get her there. We changed all the gear we had to change. We made all the little tweaks, twists and turns that we had to do to get her comfortable and get her qualified, and all for nothing because of a rule that was implemented for whatever reason. I guess I'm not torn up about it because I wasn't super high on it to begin with. As it turns out, there's going to be 3 Sire Stakes and 4 Stallion Series races. So we'll have...
They both the same day?
Yeah. So we'll have 3 Stallion Series races and 2 Sire Stake races. Insider Trading will miss. We would have put her in the Stallion Series for Saturday. So her next race will likely be... we could say, oh, we'll race her next... No, I'm not going to do that. We got to have her really good right now. Let's just keep her mildly tight, happy, keep the weight on her. You have no idea. It's almost like she grew a foot after she left here.
She's really been growing. Like, she really grew the last month.
I saw her a lot yesterday in the paddock. I said, oh my God, is she ever big now?
Like tall?
Yes,
yeah,
tall. And she's put on weight. You did a good job putting the weight on her. So, we worried all winter long because all the green shoes were kind of tucked up in these lean animals. They ate okay, but they just didn't show it on their horse flesh, on their body. She's starting to really, really look good now.
Coat looks better.
Oh, she looks like $1 million.
She looks horrible all winter.
She looked like an orphan all winter.
Yeah.
She went out and did her work, but she had this chin hair. She looked like a goat. Like all she didn't need to do was bad like a goat. But now she's really turned into a beautiful horse, and it's frustrating. I guess it's hard. I'm your partner. I was really torn on this. And that is why I was so protective of her in the qualifier. 1, to get her qualified, but 2, because I knew what was coming 96 hours later. But now that she can't race, I don't know if I'm super torn up about it. I know. Relax.
Okay.
Relax.
That's why I didn't put myself in the first set.
Well, I'm in the first set. It'll take me 2 seconds to get ready. Anyway, so Insider Trading's not racing on Saturday. Let's go over quickly, because we're getting close to the farm. Let's go over quickly yesterday. Not a great day. Steel Cowboy, I got to put some of this on my shoulders. I did train him in 55 here at Stutzman's Farm. And that's a mile in 53. Maybe 52 at Mohawk. But We did find out his feet were bothering him a little bit, so we changed his shoes around. Did those changes cause yesterday? I don't know. Problem is that I won't know until I sit behind him, and I don't know if we should just switch him back to a full swedge up front or just leave him the way he is. I know he looked terrible yesterday. Did the ride down have a role in that? Did the surface, did the track? We had the vet look at him. There was a vet, shockingly, at Oak Grove. I joke about this, but there's just not a lot of vets around Oak Grove. And we did have him looked at. No issues were found. So I suppose the blacksmith is there today. Now that I say it out loud, we can maybe just switch him back to a full swedge, work on his feet, heading into what will be next Tuesday. Eric said, well, they write the class for next Monday. I said, it's also written for Tuesday. I'll be there Tuesday. And yes, I will be there Tuesday. So put him in for Tuesday. And I think I'll text him back and just say, hey, what about having those shoes changed maybe? So disappointing start, but listen, you guys have seen this. We don't have. It would be great to see all the horses come in the barn and run off the screen. It doesn't always work that way, right? We had to wait quite a while with JK Victory. He looks like he's found his best stride now, and sometimes the horses immediately go forward. But this is racing, and I would hope that everybody understands that it has to come with a little bit of patience. There's nothing wrong with the horse. It wasn't lame yesterday. There wasn't any sickness detected. There's no reason he can't be back in on Tuesday. And any of the issues we saw yesterday, although we can't really put our finger on them perfectly, they should all be fixable. So, that was JK Victory. Atlas Hanover. Honestly, I think if you asked Johnny, he'd tell the truth. It's just not a very good drive, to be honest. And I've given lots of bad drives. It's not always easy to go out and say, this is what we're going to do, and just go out and implement it. It doesn't always work that way. I had told Johnny and talked to him and said, Atlas Hanover, he doesn't like the Northfield scene, doesn't like that type of racing. He's more of a leave and sit type horse. Well, the first part of that order needs to be implemented first, the leave part. You can't get away 8, be 4th over, 3rd over at the 3/8. That's the exact same way he raced at Northfield. Leave, sit, finish. That is how you have to race Atlas Hanover. So, the unfortunate part is his class does not go on Tuesday. So, obviously, I was angry after the race, but I think Johnny knows what went on, what went wrong, and hopefully won't look to repeat that trip. I thought Gandalf the Black was a little bit flat last night. They scoped him. Didn't find any sickness. Didn't find any issues with him. So we'll just call it a kind of ho-hum, so-so race. He was due for one since he's raced good his entire life. And then I thought Unbeatable Kemp raced huge. Amy and I were screaming watching the race. Thought he was a winner halfway down the lane, but being off a week, just short, just a hair. And it was going to be tight, and then right at the wire they swallowed him up and he's beat half a length. But I can tell you one thing, the work that everybody here is putting into this horse is paying off because he looked sounder. He looked comfortable. So good job by Dominic, good job by Michelle and Amy and everybody that takes care of Unbeatable Kemp. We're trying to race him at the top, right? At the top of what he's able to do right now. And when he has his issues and his ailments, it's not always that easy. 4th place isn't really, we're not throwing any ticker tape parades over a 4th. But the way in which 4th occurred, 4th beat a half a length and raced good, I thought was impressive for him. So hopefully we'll have a better showing next time, and he can come out swinging next week. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I have to get going myself. We have horses to train this morning in preparation of their Friday and Saturday qualifiers. We have horses to watch today also. I have to go over to Ohio. Really excited about racing those babies tonight in Ohio. And as I said, I'll finish my video with the way I started it off. A little disappointed with the scratch of the filly, but there is at least multiple voices inside me saying, hey, not the end of the world. Not really sure. I was really happy about racing her back in 4 days anyway. So with that, I'll let you guys go. We are watching a horse sell today on Gate, so that will be front and center also. So a lot going on today. It's a little chilly here. What is the temperature here? It's like 15 or 16 degrees. A little chilly here in Ontario this morning. I'll get these horses trained, maybe give you a video this afternoon updating you on any on any current events, how the horses trained, how they went, who's racing where this week. We already know who's not racing somewhere this week. But you know what? Onward and upward. Next start for our girl will be probably PA All-Stars. But I guess the overarching statement is that she qualified great. She looked great. She felt great. And it looks like we have her on the straight and narrow now. So, with that, I'll talk to you this afternoon, it looks like. Take care. Bye-bye.